Hey guys, Aladdin here from Meribook, and in this video I want to show you how we can actually take a regular checklist that we're all familiar with, like a PDF format or document format, and turn it into a checklist that is digital and is something that you can reuse multiple times and make processes out of it. Basically, an online checklist for every single project. Okay, so last time this was the checklist that I had worked on, the video. I'll put a link to it below and you can check that out. So in this video, what I'll do is I'll actually show you the document itself and how I converted that into a checklist for sharing inside the Meribook platform. So what I'm going to show you now is the actual document. So this was called Conversion Rate Optimization Checklist. I have it open in Pages, and it's just a regular document that you would probably print out or something, and then complete the checklist for a specific project. And what we want to do is we want to take this and make it more, it's already digital, but make it more usable digitally for individual projects. Here, conversion rate optimization checklist was the title, and I actually changed it to increase your website conversion quick wins. So right off the bat, I changed the title because this was more meaningful, I think, rather than conversion optimization, right? Because we want to have increased website conversions. So things like that, I think we need to pay attention to just to give the end user an idea of what they're going to be able to achieve with your lead magnet and with your checklist. So that was the first change. And then a summary. So this checklist has over 80 items. So since it was broken down into 5 different areas, and each one had 10 to 15 items in each of them. Now the next step after that is each one of these. So this one just says content and then call to action and then forms. So if you go back, so I'll go into my account. Uh, this one here, again, breaking down the concept, you'll see the 5 core areas of website optimization. So that was the title. So that was the container that we created inside Meribook in order to hold uh, the 5 areas. So content optimization checklist. So I'm just spelling it out a little bit more. Uh, Button optimization checklist. Again, spelling it out, just making it more clear. And then once you go into the content optimization, you still have the 10 items. An additional piece that I had added as the checklist owner, added the note. So I gave that as a template. So let's say right now we're working on this checklist and we want to take some notes, and we're able to do that. We can collaborate on it. That was the other enhancement that I had done to the basic checklist as a document, as a PDF, as a Word doc, or whatever it might be. Putting it into the Meribook platform, I changed that document, that checklist, into a little bit more usable. You'll also notice that I added numbering. So if we're talking about 1.1 or 2.1 in this case, it would be choose the button color. Again, this is useful when you're collaborating with other people. We don't have to say, oh, this is about the button color, it's the first one from the top and the second, call to action area. Or, if you're working on the experiment with anchor text, uh, referencing that in this block is a little bit more difficult. So just having that number 2.8, this row will go away if I click on the side. So this is not helpful unless you are clicked into this application at least. If it was a PDF document, you wouldn't have those numbers again. So 2.8 is much more easier to reference. So that was the other enhancement. So now let's actually jump in and create a new checklist template. All right. So I'm going to click on my books and I'm just going to add a new book. All right. So we'll call it that, and we'll just call this new, so that we know. And here I'm going to leave it as private. I'm not going to change anything else. Let me just save it first and show you what that looks like. So first thing we did was just give a title. There's no description. We didn't add a cover image for the book, and we didn't add a banner for the book. So this is the default design that comes with. And if you go back into edit, there are, for the cover, there are different colors that you can choose from, or you can upload your own one. Same thing for the banner. You can upload a new one if you like. So I have a couple of images. I'll add those for you here. The second one is for the book cover. I'll just add that. So I just downloaded something online from a graphic tool that I have. I didn't change the titles or anything. It's just they just look good, so I just downloaded the images as a demo. So this is the banner, and this is the book cover. So your custom graphics, you can upload them, make it unique for your use case. So now again, this is missing the description. So if I go back, this is something that I had to come up with, because in our, obviously those things are not there. So that piece of information, like how to use it and how it's going to be helpful, that's all in a post. But in our case now, what we're looking to do is put it all together. It's going to be your lead magnet. So everything is going to be uh, everything that you need to convince the user that this is a valuable piece of information. You need to have it right there, and you need to have it there all the time, because people will not have the context if they come back 6 months later, or a couple of weeks later even. So I'm going to copy this right now, and I'll go back. Just want to show you all the steps, so you can see how easy it is. It's probably taken me a lot longer to go through the explanation process, but once you understand, you'll see that it's really not that complicated. It's just more organization than anything else. And organizing, or understanding how to organize things first, is probably the hardest piece in this puzzle. So coming back to my document here, content is the first section, and then call to action is the second section. We already have the title, but you'll notice that for Meribook, I cannot create a section, which is where this will go, without having a container of a chapter. So if I minimize that and go back to the original, if I view content, you'll see that I added a chapter as a container for those 5 sections, and I called it 5 core areas of website optimization, because we're talking about 5 areas for the checklist: mobile, navigation, forms. So this is more of a container, your chapter giving a summary of what to expect. So there's nothing else to it, just a title and a brief description. And I believe the description was close to whatever I had up here, just rephrased it. So emphasizing whatever I had over here, just re-emphasized it as part of the chapter. So coming back, I'll copy this, 5 core areas of optimization, and I can help. Let's create that chapter. I'm going to skip the description just to speed things up a little bit for you guys, and then I'll add my first section. So content optimization was the first section. Okay, now this is the meat and potato of how we would actually convert things. So this is my first checklist item. So remember how I said I numbered it 1.1, 1.2. So I'm going to do that. But first I need to get a checkbox. So you'll see there are some form fields here, and we're only using the form field as a decoration rather than the actual creating a form. So I'm just going to click on insert a checkbox. I'll call it 1.1, and I'm going to leave it unchecked. So if you click on selected, then it would be checked. Click on that, a couple of spaces, 1.1, and then the text. All right. And then now enhancing that experience where you're able to take notes, just adding a simple notes line. And that's it for my first checklist item. I'm going to use the line break to get that separator. So design wise, it's really simple. It's just a line of text with one checkbox and just a divider. Right now that I have that piece done, copy that, come back here, paste it, enter, paste, right? And then once I have the break line doesn't copy, so just need to go in and add the break line wherever you want it. All right, so one other thing I like to do is actually go in and update this checkbox to be a unique input field. So I'll show you what I mean. So like when we created this, I called this 1.1. And when I copy and pasted it, everything's going to be called 1.1. And in general, that's not a good coding practice, right? So what I like to do is I actually go into the source mode, and then I change that to 1.2, 1.3, and the rest of the updates, like this one needs to be also 1.2, and then actually copying the text from my file for the second one. Let's do these three just to complete the thought process here. And I'll go back to the third one. Let's copy that. So now we have 1.1, 1.2, and 1.3 in place. And let's save it. So let's say you go through your 10 items and you do the 10 first. So your first section is done, right? So coming back to our actual sheet, next one would be the call to action. If I copy that and minimize, let's go back up one level to the chapter. So we have the content optimization done. Here, I can just click on clone, and it will clone the content optimization and add the timestamp so you know this item has been cloned. We'll edit it, and then we'll just rename it to call to action buttons and save it. So now you have your second section completed. Obviously, you need to go in and update it, but from a structure point of view, you would do the same process for all 5 sections or however many sections that you have. So that would be it. You are done converting a PDF doc or any other document, checklist document or worksheet document. If you have question and answer type worksheet, you can convert it into a web page, literally, and now you can reuse it multiple times and collaborate. I think that's the key part that I want to emphasize. Once you have it in this format, you can invite people. You can make this your lead magnet and have people join and and actually clone it as well. So let me show you how that part works. So right now I'm in my books, and I call this new increase your website conversion checklist, right? Now, if I go over to the connect campaign, which is let me go back. This icon right here, that's what that's for. Okay, it takes you to your campaign section. All right, so I'm going to click on that, and it was great because we have nothing to begin with. All right, we have no active or inactive campaigns. I'll call it, let's say, my checklist lead magnet. Okay, I'm going to call it that, and let's make it active. And let's say we want to allow campaign subscribers to make a copy of this book. If I click on that and create, so I haven't really done a lot, right, in terms of configurations. The easy way to get back to this specific book is to click on the book icon there from your campaign area. Just click on that and it takes you back to your main book. So if I go back to my book settings, you'll see that it's still private. So this book is private, but now what we did was we went in and created a campaign, and we're saying, okay, it's a private book. That means it's pretty much locked. But now if you give me your email, I'm going to give you access to that. How do we do that? When we created this campaign, by default, we create 3 simple styled forms that you can use immediately to have people sign up to this content. So if I click on, if you view code, you can take this and put it on your website. So that's one way. So people who sign up will get an email to activate their account, and then they'll have access to your content. But this all happens, from your website, or if we click on this link, it will open up in a new tab. This is a link that you can share. And let's say you're having a conversation on a social platform, whatever it might be, somebody is interested in your checklist, you just say, hey, go here, get access to it. And the beauty of this is if they input their information, they get access to that content within one step. Like they don't even have to create an account. Like they can create an account later and have it forever. But immediately, by default, we have this one-time view access option as well. So immediately, as soon as you sign up, they'll have access to that page, which is, again, locked only for that user based on their email. So that's just one style. Couple other very simple styles, because we think that most people will use their own custom pages, but just in case you needed something quick, it's here. If you wanted to add somebody yourself, you can add them from here as well. Like if you have a list of people already who have said they're interested, you can add them from here if you wanted. So here, these are your 3 styles, and it's just very basic styles. All right. Now, you can improve on this a little bit more. Let's say you wanted to add some text besides just the title and the cover. Let's say you wanted to have some text. So you have an intro, campaign intro. So let me, I tend to go fast a little bit, so excuse me. I'm back in my campaign and my checklist lead magnet. I'm going to click on the edit. And we had left all of these things empty by default. I can go back into the intro, and let's say I wanted to add some text. So I have display campaign intro, but it's empty. We have some default layouts that you can use to speed things up a little bit. let's go look at something that has bullet points. All right. And w- the checklist and the bullets are just there to help you decide, if you wanted check boxes, maybe you can delete the bullets, or if you wanted bullets, you can delete the check boxes. And I'll just add two more bullet points here, and we'll just update. And if I come back here and refresh this page, you'll see that that content is now displayed on your uh, lead magnet sign up page. So a little bit of content, if you wanted to add it, there's an option to do that as well. So that's one quick way to actually get subscribers into your system. And the other option is, if you go to the profile page, you'll see that there's no content displayed here. The new list is not being displayed right now. So if you wanted to, we can make this into a public book and display it over here. And then people would be able to just click on learn more, depending on if you make it public or public subscription. We would want to make it public subscription so that we can get the sign up email ID, right? And you just click on view book, and then they'll be able to get access to it. So hopefully that gives you a good idea on how we can take a lead magnet template, a, a document, and convert it into something a little bit more robust in terms of how you can implement it in your business to actually get more subscribers, and then your subscribers actually getting something done quickly and efficiently because you have made it so convenient for them or so easy for them. That's the whole reason why we implemented this option to clone books. So just to recap, if I go into my original subscription for this book, you'll see that there is a make a copy option, and that's how I would get a copy for myself and then use it for my projects as needed. Okay, that's it. I hope you guys will start using this functionality. I believe it's one of the most unique ways to get leads and to actually help your subscribers in a more efficient way. Talk to you soon. Bye.